Namaskar and welcome in this lecture series on software engineering fundamentals. This is Dr. Bright Keswani, professor in computer science and engineering in Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. In today's lecture, we will discuss about computer-aided software engineering tools and software maintenance process. These are the learning objectives and learning outcomes of this lecture. Through this lecture, you will learn all essential details about computer-aided software engineering tools and software maintenance process. After the completion of this lecture, you will be understand the importance of computer-aided software uh, engineering tools and its historical background and benefits, and why the software maintenance is necessary and how to initiate the maintenance process of software. These are the important points we will going to discuss in this lecture. We will discuss about overview of case tools, classification of case tools, various types of case tools. We will discuss about the software maintenance process, and various types of software maintenance. So let us start with the overview of case tool. CASE stands for Computer Aided Software Engineering. As I earlier said, that computer aided software engineering tools are the tools that are very much important when you are studying the system designing or software engineering subject. You, the study of case tools is very important for you. Case tools are software programs basically that are designed to assist human programmers with the complexity of the processes, and uh, they provides the basis for software engineering. They constitute the law of and the automated tools that aid in the synthesis of the requirement, analysis of the requirement, and modeling and documentation of the software. So you can say that computer aided software engineering tools are the tools which is that supports one or more software engineering activities within a software development process. They assist you in the entire software development process and is gradually becoming more popular for the development of software as they are improving in capabilities and functionality and are proving to be beneficial for the development of quality software. So, uh, with the adoption of case tools, you can increase the capability of your software, you can improve the functionality of your software, and you can improve the quality of your software. So, uh, you can say that it is a very important approach, uh, and uh, there are several processes that includes when added by the case tool. First thing is translation of user needs into software requirement. They provides translation of user needs into software requirements. So case tools, you can say the case tools are uh, useful in the requirement analysis phase. Secondly, transformation of software requirements into design specification means they are helped they are helpful in design specification also. So conversion of a requirement into design specification is a important activity, and case tools are helpful in this activity also. Implementation of design into code is the third uh, aim of case tool. Implementation of design into code. They assist you for the implementation of design into code. They help you. Okay. They help you in the testing of the code also. Okay. So testing of the code for operational use, they will assist you in the operational use and in the testing of the code. And lastly, they assist you in the proper documentation. They assist you in the designing. They assist you in the coding. They assist you in the testing. They assist you in the requirement analysis. So you can see that each and every phase of the SDLC, the case tools assists you. Okay, so now you can realize that the case tools are how much important in as each and every phase of SDLC. Okay, now come to the other benefits of case tools. There are ample of benefits of case tools. They provide, they improve the productivity, they improve the better documentation, they provides the better documentation, they reduces lifetime maintenance process, and they improve the accuracy. They helpful for non-programmers also. Okay, so these are some benefits of case tools. Case tools provide automation and they reduce the time to complete many tasks, especially those involving diagramming and associated specifications. Okay, so you can say that when you are going to make design of your system, or you can when you are going to analyze the system, analyze the software, analyze the requirements, and uh, analyze the problem itself. So in all these fields, case tools will help you a lot. Okay, they assist you in the diagram, in the making of DFD. They assist you in the making of ER diagram. They assist you in the making of decision table and decision trees and data dictionary. So and structuring list. So they provides you, they assist you in the each and every field of the SDLC. They provides, they help you to make your documentation work as a quality work. Okay, they provide, they will reduce the because they provides a better design, they provides a better result, and they helps in the automatic code generation. They help you in the automatic testing process. They help you in the debugging of the overall system. They help you in the quality improvement. So if they are helping you being a developer, if they are helping you in all the all the phases of SDLC, if they assist you, if they provide you solution of the problem, ready-made solution of the problem, so and they provide you the quality outcomes, so they reduce the lifetime maintenance also, because the maintenance of a software is a tedious task, it is a time consuming task, it is a very costly activity. But when you are using case tools, it will assist you, it will help you to reduce the lifetime maintenance of software. Then they provide accuracy also. They improve the accuracy of the software also. How they are doing so? They can provide ongoing debuggings and error checkings, which is very vital for early defect removal, which actually played a major role in shaping modern software. So What is the importance of early defect removal? Because there is a significant importance of early defect removal, because less efforts and time are consumed if corrections are made at an early stage, such as the design stage. But when you remove the error, or you find out the error, or you correct the error at the later stages, then it will cost very high. Okay, so what is uh, important? It is important to identify, to remove the errors at early stages. Okay, so case tools helps you to find out errors in each and every stage. So when you start identifying the problem, when you start the designing phase, when you start the coding phase, or when you start the making databases, or uh, designing the backend of the software for the software, or when you are planning for the interfaces development. In every each and every aspect, the case tool will assist you. Okay, so when you get the quality design, when you get the quality documentation, it will improve the accuracy. Quality means improved accuracy. So uh, case tool will help you to improve the accuracy. Okay, the next thing is they provides opportunity to non-programmers also, because nowadays we are using the uh, object-oriented technology and client server systems. So and programming is we are doing programming in all these latest technologies. So what is needed? So it is needed to automate the system. It is needed to understand the logic of the program. Okay, so somewhere the case tools assist you in the uh, assist the non-programmers also to do the things due to their automated process. Okay, then so these are some benefits, but not only benefits are not sufficient, some limitations are also there. You can consider some limitations also. You can give the stress on the to solve these limitations, or to uh, take taken care of these limitations. Like first is the cost related affair. Using case tool is a very costly affair, and in fact, most firms engaged in software development on a small scale do not invest in case tools, because they think that the benefits of case are justifiable only in the development of large systems. So it is a misconception, but um, most of the small projects we are not using case tools. We are not taking help from the case tools when we are uh, developing small projects. It is because it is a misconception that the case tools will only helpful in the development of large systems. Okay, so because why it is so? Because hardware and systems, softwares, trainings, and consultancies, these all are factors closely associated with the implementation of case tools. So uh, because we need an appropriate training how to handle the case tools. Okay, we need to have some sophisticated hardware or systems to run these tools. We have adequate training to learn how to work with these case tools. Okay, some consult sometimes some type of consultancy is required sometime. So These all are uh, cost related issues. So we are not adopting the uh, case tools in the small project. We are adopting case tools only in the large project. Second thing is, in some cases, a programmer productivity may fall in the initial phases of implementation because users need time to learn the technology. So, a case consulting industry has evolved to support uses of case tools, and the consultants offer training and on-site services that can be crucial to accelerate the learning curve and to the development and use of tools. So, uh, because of the advancement in the technology, being a programmer, you should uh, possess the new knowledge. You should have you should learn about the new technology, new uh, methods of new technologies, of new strategies of learning. Okay, so and case tools are working on the new technology. So sometimes you uh, may spend more money on the training. So it is, you can say it is a uh, costly or time prone activity. Now come to the uh, next part, that is the classification of case tools. Software case tools are a broad set of programs whose purpose is to assist in the creation, in the analysis and maintenance of the software system. So there are two categories of case tools. First is vertical case tool and second is horizontal case tool. Vertical case tools provide supports for certain activities within a single phase of the software lifecycle. And uh, uh, there are two subcategories of vertical tool. First category is a set of tools that are used within one phase of life cycle, and softwares such as compilers, debuggers, and code analysis tools supports the development phase of a life cycle. And these tools are important so that development in each phase can be as quick as possible. So this is the first category. And in the second category, it is a tool that is used in more than one phases, but does not support moving from one phase to the next. And these tools includes the graphic editors and support the design and analysis part of the life cycle. And these tools also ensure that the developer does move on the next phase as appropriate manner. So, uh, vertical tool, you can say that vertical tools are divided into two subcategories. First category, where set of tools that are used within one phase of a life cycle, and in the second category, uh, it is used to more than one phase but does not support moving from one phase to the next phase. When we talk about horizontal tools, horizontal case tools supported automated transfer of information between the phases of a life cycle. So, horizontal tools includes project management. It includes configuration management tools and integration services. Okay, these tools encompasses two or more phases of the life cycle, so that the information from one phase flows easily and correctly from the previous. And it is also important for these tools to be able to propagate information back to previous stages, so that the design and documentation is updated with the code. So there are two types of, basically it is classified, case tools are classified into two categories. horizontal tools and vertical tools. Let us discuss about the various types of case tools. There are, uh, as we earlier discussed, that there are two categories of case tools, but these categories, vertical tools and horizontal tools, are further divided into several other categories, like uppercase tools are there, lowercase tools are there, cross life cycle case tools are there, integrated case tools are there, and reverse engineering related case tools are there. The uh, when we talk about uppercase tools, they are related to the systems planning, they are related to the system analysis and general system designing. So, in the when we talk about the system planning case tools, uppercase tools, they are making the business, they are useful in making the business strategy, they are uh, um, producing they are helpful in the complementary systems and strategies to be implemented. They are helping in the database and networks development, and they are helpful in the applications that need to be developed around them. So there are several uh, case tools for system planning. Some case tools helps in the analysis and designing process also. They are uh, propose they are to propose the design solutions and analyzing information for consistency, for completeness and integrity. So some other type of tools, case tools, are also available, and such type of design and analysis related case tools helps in analysis to define project scope and system boundaries. They are helpful in modeling and describing the current information system. They are helpful in the modeling and describing the user business requirements for a new information system. And not only this, they provide the prototype requirements for the purpose of discovery or verification. They provides design a computer-based information system that will fulfill the user's business requirements. So, and sometimes they provide the prototype related information or components also. They design the prototype specific design components like screen reports and uh, screens and various reports. Okay. So there are several examples of such a type of case tools like uh, RAD workbenches and knowledge. Where is the uh, example of such type of case tools which analyze and designing the concepts or system. As far as the lower case tools is concerned, these case tools are known as back-end case tools, and these tools are meant for detailed system designing and implementation and system support. So, the tools which are used for system design and implementation performs the uh, several tasks, like they help programmers to test and debug codes and programs, so that programs uh, make uh, developed in a quick manner, and they generate program code from analysis and design specification. They design and generate special or detailed system design components, like they generate the screen and they generate the databases, and sometimes they automatically generate complete application code from analysis and specification. Okay, so such type of lowercase tools are further divided into some other categories like application programmer workbenches and component generators and code generators. So these are three types of lower case tools for system design and implementation. Application program workbenches supports coding, compiling, testing, and debugging of application programs on an intelligent workstations, whereas the component generators and component generators assist with the design of specialized information system components or problems, then generate the special code required to implement those components. Then, when we talk about the code generators, these are the tools that generates the code for application programmers from analysis and design specification. And there are some special things that a code generator will do, like they help in writing programs, they identifying errors and omissions in the design specification, and they serve as a direct interface to an uppercase design tool. So there are several advantages also. There are several disadvantages also of each and every case tool. When summarized, there are several case tools like analysis case tools. As I earlier elaborated, these tools are used to check the software product for its proper functionality and requirement analysis. Documentation tool are the tools that are used to generating software requirement specification document for software product. Diagrammatical tools are used to generate the diagrams for the designing and analysis specifications, like they are helpful in the flow charting, DFD making, and use case diagrams. Design tools are also there. These types of case tools are used to automate the process of designing for the software product, like Illustrator and Photoshop are the case type of case tools. Some prototyping tools are also there. They are used to generate prototype for various software modules of any software product. Project management tools are also there, which are helpful in the project scheduling, project reporting, project management also. Then programming tools are there, uh, which helps for the development of any software product, and they helpful in writing codes for the software product by improving solid framework. Quality assurance tools will ensure that the quality of the software product which is being generated of highest standard. So there are several. Selenium is the uh, tool which ensures the quality of the software project. Some maintenance tools are also there. Uh, After delivering the project, maintenance tools helps in automation of maintenance of software product in order to reduce manual human efforts. So you can see here a huge list of types of case tools. Now come to the next part of this lecture, that is overview of software maintenance. Why software maintenance is required? What is software maintenance? Why it is required? What is the aim of software maintenance? What are the components of software maintenance process? These are the major points we will discuss about all of them one by one. As per the IEEE, software maintenance is modification of a software product after delivery to correct faults, to improve performance or other attributes, or to adapt the product to a modified environment. So IEEE in 1993, IEEE gave this definition of software maintenance. I'm repeating again because this definition is very much important. Software maintenance is modification of a software product after delivery to correct faults, to improve performance or other attributes, or to adapt the product to a modified environment. Because there are uh, changing environment is changing rapidly, so to survive the software system within the changing environment, the software maintenance is required. Software maintenance is a set of activities performed when software undergoes modifications to code and associate documentation due to a problem or the need for improvement or adaptation. This is the second definition of software maintenance. Okay, now discuss the aim of software maintenance. There are several aims, various different aims of software maintenance. The first and foremost important aim to enhance the software by changing its functions. So, make a software alive, we have to undergo with maintenance of software. To adopt the software to cope with changes in the environment is a very important point. It is a very important aim of software maintenance. To correct errors is the major aim of software maintenance. Whether it is a residual error or it is a uh, other kind of error, each and every type of error should be eliminated from the software. So to correct errors is the aim of software maintenance. Components to update the software in anticipation of future problem. So updating the software project, updating the software for future reference or future use is also a very important task, which is or aim of the software maintenance. Now, uh, there are several components of software maintenance process. Mainly, we are categorized into all components into three categories. First is people who are involved. Second is supporting tasks, which are well defined. And lastly, knowledge about the software product. So there are three major components of, you can say, ingredient of uh, software maintenance process. First is people, second is supporting tasks, and third is knowledge. So you can see in this figure, in this picture, the complete software maintenance process. Software maintenance process is related to the software life cycle. Software life cycle is a model used to describe and explain the software development and the maintenance process. But within the software engineering context, it has not been yet well established how software maintenance would relate to the software development process and how these two differs from each other. So what is needed? What is to be done? A top-down waterfall model has been widely accepted by the software community, while the spiral model has received considerable attention. And there is a risk analysis related aspect. So, uh, software maintenance process should be adopted. So, this software maintenance process starts with the determining maintenance objectives. Okay, correct program errors, add new capabilities on, delete obsolete features and optimization. This is the phase one. when you determine the maintenance objectives. In the second phase, which is a program understanding, means uh, how much it is complex, is documentation is available or not, or it is a self descriptiveness is there or not in the program. So understanding about the program is the next step. Then generate particular maintenance protocol is the third phase, which is very important. Generate particular maintenance protocol and then account for ripple effect to make the uh, stable, to make the program stable. uh, you should account for a ripple effect and then test the process, and if pass in the testing, then uh, it is okay, the maintenance process is to be done. If you are not pass, this process is not passed, then these steps are not satisfied the requirements, then that process will move to the first step again. Okay, so it is, you can say it is a cyclic process. Software maintenance process is a cyclic process, you can say, which starts from the determine maintenance objective and it ends with the testing. Okay, so there are several types of software maintenance in a software lifetime. Types of maintenance may vary based on its nature. It may be just a routine maintenance tasks as someone bug discovered by some user, or it may be a large event in itself based on maintenance size or nature. So these are the following type of maintenances based on their characteristics. First is corrective maintenance. Corrective maintenance aim to correct any remaining errors regardless of where they may arise, specification related or design related or coding related or testing or documentation related errors are comes under this category. You can make the corrective maintenance. You should uh, make the corrective maintenance. Okay, if some error remain remaining in the specification or design or coding or testing or documentation. Next is adaptive maintenance. Adaptive maintenance changes the system to react to changes in the environment in which the system operates, like porting a new compiler, porting a new operating system and or new hardware. So adaptive maintenance is generally not requested by the client. Rather, it is imposed by the external environment. So adaptive means what? It is related to the updation. It is related to the modification applied to keep the software product up to date and tuned to the ever-changing world of technology and business environment. So adaptive maintenance is important. Then perfective maintenance. This includes modification and updates done in order to keep the software usable over a long period of time. Perfective maintenance means software will work in a perfect manner. So some kind of maintenance should be done. It includes new features, new user requirements for refining the software and improve in reliability and performance. So what is um, perfective maintenance? Perfective maintenance is where most of the maintenance time and money are spent. Perfective maintenance improves the efficiency and effectiveness of the system or improve the maintainability. So enhancements are often considered part of perfective maintenance. Okay, enhancements add functionality to the system. Let us discuss about the preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance involves the activities to update the software in anticipation of any future problem. Prevention. Okay. Preventive maintenance means this includes the modification and updation to prevent future problems of the software. So it is related to the future problem, not the current problem. It aims to attend problems which are not significant at the moment but may cause serious issues in future. Okay, so such type of maintenances are required when you are doing the software maintenance process. Okay, so in today's lecture, we have discussed about so many things like what is the importance of maintenance, how to maintain the software, when to maintain the software, and about we have discussed about the software maintenance process in detail. Not only this, we had discussed about the uh, overview of case tools and classification types of case tools. Okay, so we had discussed a lot many things in this lecture. Now this is the time for assessment through multiple choice questions. The first question is, software maintenance includes error correction or enhancement of capabilities or detection of obsolete capabilities, and all of the mentioned. The answer is all of the mentioned. Software maintenance includes the error correction, right? It includes the enhancement of capabilities and detection of obsolete capabilities. So right answer is D. The second question, maintenance is classified into how many categories? Maintenance is divided into uh, classified into four categories. Okay, so the right answer is C. Not two, not three, not five. It is four. The modification of the software is to match changes in the ever-changing environment fall under which category of software maintenance? Corrective, adaptive, perfective, or preventive? The answer is B, adaptive. Changing environment. The maintenance related to the changing environment or is called as adaptive maintenance. Okay. What type of software testing is generally used in software maintenance? Regression testing, system testing, integration testing, or unit testing? The answer is regression testing. Which of the following is true about corrective maintenance? The first option, it includes modification and updations done in order to correct or fix problems which are either discovered by user or conducted by user error reports, concluded by user error reports. The second option, it includes modification and updations applied to keep the software product up to date and tuned to the ever-changing world of technology and business environment. The third is it includes modifications and updations done in the order to keep the software usable over a long period of time. And D is it includes modifications and updations to prevent future problems of the software. So the right answer is A. It includes modifications and updations done in order to correct or fix problems which are either discovered by user or conducted or concluded by user error reports. So the right answer is A. Which of the following is not a type of maintenance? Adaptive maintenance, preventive maintenance, perfective maintenance, or pro, performative maintenance? So the right answer is D. Performative maintenance is not a type of maintenance. The seventh question, what type of software testing is generally used in software maintenance? Regression testing, system testing, black box testing, or white box testing? The answer is A, regression testing. Which regression test selection technique exposes Fault caused by modifications. Precision, efficiency, inclusiveness, or generality. The answer is C, inclusiveness. What are legacy systems? How you define a legacy system? The option is A. Option A is new system. Option B is old system. Option C is underdeveloped system. Or D is none of the above. The legacy systems are old systems. The right answer is B. Modifying the software to match changes in the ever-changing environment is called what? Adaptive maintenance, corrective maintenance, perfective maintenance, or preventive maintenance. The adaptive maintenance is the right answer. Modifying the software to match the changes in the ever-changing environment is called adaptive maintenance. So, friends, that's all from today. Uh, uh, these are some reference books. You can consult these books if you have any query. I hope this lecture provided you a clear-cut understanding about the uh, software maintenance related issues and about the case tools. Have a good day. Thank you.